Welcome everybody to what we hope will be an informative and edifying session today on prospects of change in Iran 40 years after clerical rule. My name is Adam Ereli, and I've been long affiliated with and supportive of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, and it's a pleasure and honor to welcome you to this event today. The reason we're here is because 40 years ago today, the government of the Shah of Iran fell, and the government that we have today, or the predecessor of the government that we had today, took power. In today's program, we're going to examine what's happened in those 40 years, in the 40 years since really the promise of democracy presented itself, but was quickly in Iran, but was quickly extinguished by the clerical authoritarianism of the mullahs who are currently ruling Iran today. So we'll examine what's happened since then, but we'll also, I think, equally importantly, look forward. Examine what's happened in the last 40 years, what's happening today, and what that tells us about prospects for change in Iran. And as we all know, what's happening today in Iran is certainly not what the rulers in Tehran would wish for their country. The country is up in arms, literally. More and more people every day are expressing, either by word or deed, their dissatisfaction with the revolutionary ideology that governs the country. So there really is I would say a wide open prospect for change that our experts will be talking about. You know, there are lots of, I've seen over the last couple of weeks, a lot of events and commentary about the 40th anniversary and what's happening in Iran and blah, 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 blah. You know, there are a lot of supposed experts out there who pretend to know Iran. Some do, many don't. And one of the values of today's events is that we're going to hear from people who really do know Iran. Suna Samsami and Ali Safavi, well, first of all, are Iranians, but second of all, represent an organization which is, I would argue, more organic and more connected to the people of Iran and to what's going on inside Iran than almost anybody I can think of. The Mujahedin-e Khalq and its offshore or external organization, the National Council of Resistance of Iran, have really been fighting and dying in Iran for all of those 40 years. And everybody in that organization has lost somebody at the hands of the regime. So they've experienced the reality of Iran personally, and I think as a result, their commitment to changing Iran is fervent and constant. And for that reason, again, I think what we'll hear today is based on a level of personal experience, personal insight, and incredible connectivity to what is happening inside Iran. And for that reason, it is both unique and authoritative. One of the, you can take my word for it, but to me, one of the greatest validators of the MEK and the NCRI is none other than the president of Iran and the head of the IRGC and basically the leadership of the Iranian Revolution, because they're the ones that keep talking about the MEK as if it's the worst thing since I don't know, since Israel. People like to say, well, the MEK has been, exiled. They don't have support in Iran. Well, if they didn't, if that were true, why would the leader of the revolution and all his senior henchmen keep talking about them as if they were the greatest threat to the regime? To me, that validates and substantiates the impact that this organization has had and continues to have. And we see that, like I said, every day, where more and more Iranians are protesting. Let's make no mistake, the Mujahedin-e Khalq has a role in this, and they have connectivity inside Iran, which is why the regime is so scared of them. So, in this sense, as from the American side, I would simply argue that you've got a very capable opposition. You've got that is doing things on the ground in a very effective way, and the best thing the United States can do is just stop appeasing the current regime. I mean, obviously, President Trump has changed that policy, but don't do anything to give an inch to the current regime, and just let the opposition do their thing. And I think that can maximize the prospects for change